Are we still cursed?
I think they're about to fix it.
Well,
Madnesses?
you want to know about the curse that you had? Well, I knew about your curse. My friend here, Raoul, he told me about what happened. So, my lovely friend Eve over here. Eve is an elderly woman, attired in a dark flowing dress with a parrot green shawl wrapped around her sturdy shoulders. Vincenzo says, Eva is our Raunui, our leader. And she's helped me to perform this ritual to summon back the spirit of Layla, so you may finally defeat her and break your curse. Eva says, please come with me to the camp. There will be drinks and there will be warmth at the fire. You come to a Vistani camp. There's many Verado there. In fact, Raoul's Verado is there now. And there's a fire, and there's lots of people having a good time chatting, and y'all are given cups of wine to drink. By the time the wooden cups have been wiped and put away, the moon has risen high over the campsite, and the stars shine brightly in the evening sky. Moonrise, whispers Vincento, is the fine... Oh, he whispers. Let me do that again. Moonrise, whispers Vincenzo, is the finest hour of the day. A rather odd comment considering the horrible things that have come out by moonlight here in Nvidia. With an ease that would amaze a ranger, Vincenzo sparks a fire to life in minutes, using nothing but a flight block and some kindling. Two beautiful young girls begin to feed the flames, laughing merrily and jabbering to each other in their colorful language.
Beautiful young girls. Beautiful.
Yeah,
We've been over this before.
There's no ugliness here when it comes to women.
Always a 10.
Hell yeah. You come to Ravenloft for the chicks.
Yeah. I'm gonna play Dungeons and Dragons just so I can, like, have a hot girlfriend and, like, come out into the real world and be like, I'm a loser.
One by one, the Vistani finish their various tasks about the camp and join the growing circle around the fire. Eva delivers a new violin to Raoul. After a few plucks to tune the strings, the Vistana smith begins to stroke them with his bow, striking up a spirited melody. A look of tense surprise momentarily appears on the elderly woman's face, but it quickly gives way to a smile of enjoyment, and she begins clapping in tune with the music. Soon the Vistani are clapping and singing. Beautiful young girls rises and begin to dance around the fire, shaking tambourines to the rhythm of the music. She spins and twirls her skirt round and round until you are dizzy just watching her. Suddenly she comes to a stop before your party. She gently sways before you, the slightest smile upon her lips. Who will dance with Gidanta? Asks the nearby man. Hers is a rare invitation indeed. So, who wants to dance with her?
Or succubus, and that's a succubus.
Zebulous is always rolling that dice. Do I do it?
Apparently I do. It's an even number. Yeah, I dance.
You dance? Excellent. Roll a d20 to see if you're good at dancing. You need to roll under your dexterity. Roll low.
My dexterity is 8.
Wow, you did it! You dance beautifully with the girl. Everybody loves your dancing, including the woman. Eva and Vincenzo walk over to one of the Verardos, knocking on the door 3 times. After a pause, the narrow portal opens and a young woman steps out, dressed in layered skirts of many vibrant colors and intricate patterns. Her narrow face is framed with night black hair and her eyes burn like smoldering coals. It is time for the Dorok, she says, approaching the firelight. I am Marcella.
Hi, Marcella.
The Daruk is a time of storytelling. And she will tell you the story of why they are here in Nvidia
Yay.
for the Carnival. As a young girl, Gabrielle Andre was warned by her mother, Isabella, never to have children. A man, a babe, a home. These things can never be for you, Gabrielle, for tragedy will be the only result. For many years, while the bitter pair wandered the wilds of Ravenloft, Gabrielle pressed her mother for details about her future and mysterious father, though Isabel forbade it. Gabrielle learned nothing more until she turned 19 on the eve of her mother's death. While traveling in Arkandale, Isabella allowed Gabrielle to set the warding circle around their camp. They had argued that day, and, as usual, Gabrielle had lost. Tired and seething with anger, Gabrielle wove the protective charms too hastily, and by the light of the rising moon, a werewolf stormed into the camp, through the imperfect wardings. Before Isabella could ready an assault, the creature knocked her down and ripped open a huge gash in her leg with its jaws. Crawling frantically away, Isabella fixed the werewolf with her evil eye, blasting the creature with the full force of her hate and malice. The lycanthrope fell dazed to the ground while Isabella's enchantment seized him. As blood pulsed out of her gashing leg, Isabella called to Gabrielle for help, but the cruel daughter saw only a window of opportunity. "Tell me about my father," Gabrielle bargained, "and I will save your life." Isabella was furious. "The charm will not hold the wolf for long. His strength will return and he will kill us both." But Gabrielle would not be swayed, and as Isabella's vision began to blur, she told her daughter vaguely about her past. Isabella's voice was calm and strong in the cold night air. "I was captured as a child and sold as a slave in Falkovnia. My master was a sadistic monster. For amusement each night he would gather a group of slaves and impale them before his castle. Their dying screams would mingle with the chamber music and polite dinner conversation. But because of my beauty and my Vistani gifts, he refused to kill me. Many nights I wish he had. Years later I finally escaped. I was 2 months pregnant with you. I have told you enough of your father. Bring my potions before the wolf kills us both." Gabrielle was stunned. For years she had fantasized about her mysterious father, and her romantic dream was shattered. She stumbled away from Isabella into the Verardo, packing her mother's prized Taraka and potions in a sack. The wolf, still convulsed in its enfeebled state, helplessly charmed by the evil eye. Gabrielle returned to her mother's pool of blood. By then she had made up her mind. "I don't believe your lies, Mother. I am leaving to find my father." As Gabrielle fled into the darkness, her mother's pleading voice slowly faded, and the screams began. Suddenly, Isabella's voice rang out, closed by through the gathering mists. "The mists take you, traitor! May you know your child's betrayal, and realize too late the depths of its evil." Then the mist closed around Gabrielle, and she was gone. The mist brought Gabrielle to Nvidia, which at the time was ruled by a werewolf lord named Bakholis. The werewolf's retainer captured Gabrielle and brought her to the castle Newt for an audience. Proud and overconfident, Bakholis sought to enslave Gabrielle, but the witch managed to enfeeble the Dark Lord with her evil eye, exactly as Isabella had struck down the werewolf in Arkandale.
Evil eye maneuvers. Cheap jumps, hands, arms. Yes.
Good try. Glad you remembered the evil eye maneuver. Thinking she was successful in averting her mother's curse, Gabrielle pulled out a silver-edged dagger and slit Bakholis' throat while he was still helpless. Instead of assuring her freedom, Gabrielle thereby became the new Lord of Nvidia, forever imprisoned within the domain and preventing her from seeking out her unknown father. Years passed, and bitter Gabrielle slowly became accustomed to her imprisonment. She took many lovers from the small town of Karina in her domain. But the passage of time could not erase her mother's curse from memory. Gabrielle was careful to use medicinal arts to prevent her from becoming pregnant. She treated her lovers with disdain, enslaving them with her evil eye, and discarding them when she eventually grew tired or bored, but none were able to comfort her terrible loneliness. Then, one day, a dark traveler appeared at the gates of Castle Newt. From the moment he locked eyes with Gabrielle in the Great Hall, her iron-clad heart melted under his hypnotic gaze. Soon, she invited the handsome stranger into her boudoir. Before mounting the stairs to Gabrielle's private chambers, they were confronted by Matten, the lover Gabrielle had just replaced. Do y'all remember Matten? Mustache man? Treat y'all like ass?
Yeah.
Secretly a wolf-were. Not a werewolf, but a wolf-were.
Magic with a Y.
Secretly a wolf-were.
So what is it, the reverse?
Great luck.
Yeah, he's the reverse of a werewolf. He's a wolf that can turn into a man rather than a man that can turn into a wolf.
That's cool. Okay.
Or a werewolf. A wolf that turns into a bear.
Don't hear much about those.
No.
A bear-werewolf.
But you're right, that should be a thing.
A bear-werewolf. Yeah.
Werewolf. Hyphen. There's a hyphen in there.
Just become like a werewolverine because you're like bad with bears.
No, if it's a bear that becomes a wolf were is a wolf that becomes a man. So it'd be a bear-were, which would be a bear that becomes a man. But if it becomes a wolf, but if it becomes a wolf, it would be a bear-werewolf. A bear-werewolf.
Okay.
So bear-were and werewolf together. You see, you gotta know how the language works. Otherwise, you're just lost. People won't know what you're talking about.
What if it doesn't? What if it chooses not to identify as either and changes?
Yeah, what if it's like a transgender?
A trans.
That's my inspiration.
We have to make special bathrooms for these creatures.
Well,
We got werewolves, wolf-wares, and other? I don't know. Secretly a wolf-were, Matten was the only one of Gabrielle's lovers who felt genuine affection for having never been enslaved by her evil eye. Now, hurt and jealous, Matten transformed into a wolf and hurled himself at the stranger. The gentleman caught the wolf-were and hurled him to the ground with stunning, superhuman strength. Gabrielle, meanwhile, overcame her shock and paralyzed her former lover with the evil eye. At the stranger's suggestion, they left Matten paralyzed and convulsing in the great hall as they climbed to Gabrielle's private chambers. In the privacy of her boudoir, Gabrielle succumbed completely to the stranger's fiendish charms, and when the handsome gentleman disrobed, she thought it hardly unusual to see a pair of black, bat-like wings unfolding into the canopy of darkness. Gabrielle welcomed the incubus into her embrace. "You will remember me only as the handsome gentleman," the stranger said afterwards. Once she had stopped screaming, the fiend's voice carried the weight of compulsion, and then he was gone. From that monstrous union, an abomination was born, a creature in the guise of a child known to us as the Dakar. It is this presence that we have come to defeat. Its presence gnaws at us like a cancer, as it is a gaping hole in our sight. We ask you to assist us in our endeavor. As Girya, you can walk about Karina unnoticed and learn of its lair. For this information, we would be grateful.
I don't care, apparently.
We'll help them find their car if they uncurse us first.
Well, dude, where's my car?
We killed the ghost, that undid the curse, but we're still insane.
Oh, okay.
I think that helping
Well,
Raoul already got its curse as is, so, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Well, if we don't do this and there's no story.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
No, you can decline if you want.
I've decided to live happily ever after and never winter now. I'm gonna leave the quest and just finish every life. I'm just gonna settle down and like smart on line. I'm gonna go fishing every day. Just, I'm not gonna fight. I'm just gonna go fishing.
They basically said that we're going to go to some castle, spy on some lady, see where her demon child is, and then come back and tell them where it is.
Sounds like
Not that I care.
That would be good. Sounds like a normal day to me. Alright, let's do it. I vote yes.
Marcella comes forward and gives each of you an amulet. She says these will help protect you.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
And it will help protect you against the evil eye. Give you a +4 bonus versus evil eye.
And the little shoo thing.
Yep. Raoul will walk up to you and he'll say, "My friends, thank you for helping the Vistani, my family here. I'm going to stay here with them, and I'm going to work on a new... they wish me to help them make a new piece of magic for them. That will help defeat the Dakar. When you come back tomorrow, I will have it finished for you. Until then...
He's gonna rip us off.
Until then, I think you should go back to town. Remember what Nathan Timothy said, that there were dogfights in town?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps you should go there and find some information out there. You pay your gold and you enter town, and you get back to the tavern in... There's a district that they were in, weren't they? You go back to the wine garden. There's a guy in the wine garden who's out this late asking people if they want a job. Y'all ignore the guy who...
Wait, I might need a job. What kind of a job? Let me ask him what kind of a job it is.
You walk up to him and he goes, young lady, little girl, I don't know if you are right for this job. You seem a bit short and feminine for it. But
so it's not an escorting service. Oh my god.
If you do wish to know, my patron, the great Matin, needs a bodyguard retinue for an event he's going to tomorrow.
And you are going to accompany me, Apothnesko?
So, is he giving you the job? Or what? I mean, he was just kind of...
If I were to accept this job, would you come and help me with it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that would be great. Come see Mr. Matin in the morning, and we'll discuss the details. It pays a great deal of gold, so I hope he'll accept you as your bodyguard. I'll see you then. Everybody gets back a hit point from resting. So, you go to the Laughing Maiden to see Matin, and he's sitting at the table eating a piece of meat for breakfast, and y'all come in.
Yeah.
He looks at his... the guy he hired to get people to come be his bodyguard, he goes, that little one, I don't think she's very good to be a bodyguard. He goes but the man next to her is quite formidable. He looks at all of you.
Kick his ass.
So, you want to be my bodyguards?
Yes, my liege?
Oh, I like you.
Do you watch what you say about the little one?
Can you defend yourself against overwhelming odds?
We just slew a ghost.
You slew a ghost? Well, if that's true, then I shall be in good hands. We are to go to a secret event tonight, and you shall protect me, for I am an uninvited guest.
We're helping a terrorist organization.
I hope it doesn't mean the gypsy thing, because we were kind of hoping to stay friends with them.
Oh, I don't care about gypsies. No. This has more to do with town politics. Something I'm sure you care nothing about, and which I'm glad for. Really, I don't want you in my business other than the business of protecting my body, which is the most important business of all.
Sounds that's all he wants me to do is about him.
Are we going to be staying in this town afterwards?
Oh,
Because
Jonathan!
we're staying in this town after this event. Like,
Jonathan, before we go any further, roll a d6 so I know what personality is in control of you.
oh yeah.
It's a D12.
Oh yeah, is it a d12? Yeah, it's a d12. It's a d12. A personality in control of you now is aloof, snooty, and intellectual. Well then, I will see you tonight then. You can meet me here at the Laughing Maiden at sundown, and we will travel together. Yes?
Are we staying in the place after we do this for him? Because the people are gonna hate us and we smoke with this guy and he's like a terrorist and like.
I'm not a terrorist.
Oh, okay.
This is.
How much is he paying?
That's a good point. How much is it?
I will pay. If you do a very good job, I will pay you each 100 gold pieces.
Oh, wow.
We asked the guy that we were just talking to where the dogfights are.
He looks at you and he
doesn't
smiles and he says, "Oh, you don't understand, sir. I'm glad you know that there are dogfights here in town. That is where we're going tonight."
So want to get, like, silver equipment?
That's a good idea.
So at Amaranth, are you going to get those daggers silvered? Or?
Yeah, I am.
Jonathan, what item do you get silvered?
The hell with it.
Okay. The metal fittings on Zebulous' staff, you can get silvered as well for 20 gold. Day turns to evening as the sun begins to set. You meet up with Matten. As you walk down the streets, they turn on the gas lamps. You start getting the feeling that you're being watched as you cross over into the Falcovian district. Crossing Tower Street, you notice a tall, slender figure standing on a street corner a block away, leaning up against a building near a street lamp. He wears a wide-brimmed hat and a billowing cloak of some dark fabric that seems to drink up the night, making him hard to see. A dark scarf covers the lower half of his face. The man abruptly steps out of the lamplight and is swallowed silently by the darkness. Where he was standing, a crumpled piece of parchment lies on the cobblestone sidewalk by the street lamp. Alright, Zebulous walks forward and picks up the paper. You find, when you pick it up, something falls out of the paper. It is a severed human finger, wearing a ring.
Yeah, that's metal. No, fuck. Let's put on a necklace.
Is the ring special or anything? Can we take it and use it?
You look at the
Is
ring.
Yeah. Is it a signet ring or?
It is an iron ring, and it has an iron signet ring covered with the Falcovian hawk. When you pull the paper out, there's a message on it written in blood. The darkness is mine. The anger is mine. The vengeance is mine. You get to a warehouse. On the street, on the side of the warehouse, it says 123 as the address. You are at 123 Bog Street. The address of the dogfights.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we'll pick up next game. We'll pick up next game at the dogfights. Yeah! That's how it ends. That's how we're ending today. You look forward next time and you'll have dogfights.
You can dance if you want to.
You can leave your friends behind. Because your
Cause
friends don't dance. And if they don't dance, well, no friends of mine. But we can dance. But we can dance. Everybody's shaking your pants. Those aren't the
What
words.
was that song? Are we something or are we dancers?
Are we
Yeah, are we
human?
human or are we dancers?
Are we dancer?
That's amazing.
My head is something. My brain is cold. Cause those aren't the words. But I kind of like them. Are we human? Or are we dancer? I have the worst tragedy ever.
What happened?
I have all this salsa and no more chips left.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
It's like a meme. It's like that was a meme from like MySpace days. Like if I open another bag of chips, then I'll have too many chips for my salsa. And if I
Look, I don't have any more chips left. They're all freaking gone. And yet I got all this salsa. And I looked in the kitchen. I got no more chips. I just don't have any more. This is the worst tragedy ever.
I agree.
Oh, if only somehow I could make other people's lives in third world countries worse in order to get more chips. I would do that in a heartbeat.
But you can also do that without making people's lives worse.
That wouldn't be fun.
Oh, come on!
No,
What are you, some sort of hippie? Oh.
No, you
The
meant that.
The chips taste so much better when you know that like people had to suffer for you to get those things.
Yeah, like you take their housing
Of
and you
course
take
you
their...
do. Thaddeus is like, philosophically speaking, now I have to object to this. Speaking, this is wrong.
You cut down their rainforest and you put up cornfields, and then you fertilize that. You hire them for like pennies.
You hire them to fertilize it with their little bum bums,
and then they fertilize it, and they put pesticide on it, and then the rain comes down, and all that runoff goes right into their drinking supply. And they get hurt, and they get diseases based on drinking all of that crap in their water. Yeah, this is a good idea. It'll get me more chips.
You know what? Some of them develop like communities of that shit, and then they can live with it. We go to their country, we can't drink their water, and they can drink their own water.
Exactly.
They get like
all it does.
Superhero powers.
All it does is give me more chips, which is the end result that I want.